Look, guys, I know and I understand that some people struggle with comprehension. Some people struggle to think. So let me make something clear to you guys. Don't mistake me. Don't get confused. Don't see me advocating for black consciousness. Don't see me supporting liberation movements like the MK, the EFF, and supporting people like Julius Malema, Floyd Shibambu, and President Jacob Zuma. Don't see that and mistake me for being a racist. I'm not a racist. I don't hate white people. But I also know my history of my people, that white people once came here and tried to colonize our people, and they succeeded. They colonized black people. And later on, after colonialization, few years before izintos change, they allowed our people to suffer through apartheid. Some people have died. Our ancestors suffered through apartheid. Some people are still alive. Our grandmothers and grandfathers are here to tell those stories. So the stories can be contested. The stories can be still told by the horse's mouth. Someone who went through the process, who went through apartheid. So don't mistake me for speaking out as a black person, for being aware that I'm a black person and my history is not the same as a white person. Don't mistake me speaking up for myself and defending my people with racism. It's not. It's truly not racism. This is not racism. This is just me being aware. And I also want you guys to be aware, because there is this language, online, like when black people try and come together and support each other and tell their stories as black people. There's always this connotation online of thinking that black people are victimizing themselves, of thinking that black people, like, their history shouldn't matter. Their history, like, our history happened. It's in our genes. Some people who suffered the history of colonization and oppression and suffering, the beating and the rapes, it still lives within our veins, because it's in our genes. We still have the same genes as people who went through that slavery or colonialization process, and the programming, and the propaganda of lying and telling those people they deserve this because they are nobodies. So we are not victimizing ourselves in any way. Me personally, I'm not victimizing myself, but I also want you guys to understand that I'm not a racist. Me speaking up for black people, me standing up for black leaders and supporting black leadership doesn't mean I hate white people. But it also doesn't mean I don't know what white people have done. I know what white people have done. That's why I can't be supporting white people and their agendas, So it's not racism. Don't mistake it with that. And one thing black people need to understand is that there is no unity that can come between black people and white people. That's a lie. Unless you want to be delusional, you can believe that. But it's a lie. There is no unity. There is no equality that can come. It's not equal. We don't come from the same circumstances. Black people themselves, they are not even equal themselves. So why do you think you as a black person, you're going to be equal with white people? Black people themselves, they are not even united themselves. Why do you think now you want to believe that you as a black person can go and unite with white people? Like, it's nonsense. It doesn't make sense. It's a fallacy, It's not real. Izinto ezingabonakali, So yeah, I'm black and I understand the history of black people and I sympathize to that history. That's why I don't frown upon it. That's why I get to understand that I might not be the one who has suffered that history. But for us as the young people to sell out to the people who are part of the liberation, for us to be here today and us to discredit them and forget what they went through for us to be here, it's like that means it was all for nothing. So it can't be all for nothing. We can't just erase history of black South Africans just like that in the name of unity, in the name of national unity. No, guys, we know our history, we know ourselves. We understand black people is not one person. We understand there's different cultures, there's different tribes, there's different traditions. We understand that. But when these other groups look at us, they see one thing. But us, we know our differences as black people. But just because us, we can pinpoint our differences, doesn't mean the other people, they can also do that. They see one thing, they see one black. They don't care if you're Xhosa, Tsonga, Zulu, they don't care, they see one thing. That's why they get to treat everyone the same. That's why they get to even call black people dogs. They see barbarians, you know. So, it's not racism. Don't mistake it with racism. It's being aware and being conscious of what is happening, you know. So, yeah.